Yesterday, I went with my dad to go buy a brand new Tesla, and it was such a mind blowing experience. I wanted to share it with you guys. So, when it comes to electric cars, honestly, my dad hasn't always been on board. I mean, he is from an older generation, he just turned 70. So, all of this new technology just doesn't really come that naturally to him. So, one day I'm over at his house and we're just talking and he's on the computer and I see he's on the Tesla website. And obviously the first thing I ask him is, like, what are you doing? What are you looking at? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I'm just kind of playing around and I can build my own car here. I'm customizing my own car. So he had his eye on the 2026 Tesla Model Y. And I guess this was just right after the whole Elon Musk Trump whole debacle thing where the sales were decreasing like crazy and Tesla dropped their price. He had all the full self-driving. He really went like top of the line for this thing. And it came out to, I think it was 74,000 Canadian, which is about 50 grand US roughly. And we were both surprised. So next thing you know, he places the order and now he's getting updates on his phone on when it's going to arrive, right? And then sometime last week, he gave me a shout and he said, hey, Trev, the Tesla's arriving on Monday. Do you want to come with me to pick it up? And I said, yes, absolutely. It was actually an enjoyable experience. So he booked the first time to go pick it up because he was super excited. We roll up to the brand new Tesla dealership. So we sat down, we're all waiting, and one by one, the different salespeople would come up and be like, is this your name? And we said, yeah, that's us. And then they walked us out onto the factory floor. And honestly, it was mind blowing. All I could see was rows and rows of brand new Tesla Model Ys, all different colors, all lined up. And they all had a name and a nice little bow, like a Christmas present for everybody, because that was their car that they were going to be picking up. And later, one of the salespeople told me that there was 135 Model Ys that had just arrived on a boat from Germany, because that's apparently where they're made. And all 135 were being delivered or picked up by customers that day, yesterday, all of them, all to customers that were in my area in Vancouver. So that means just on that one day, 135 brand new Model Ys hit the streets in my area. So it was really cool. They walked us up to the car. My dad was all excited. He took pictures beside the car and they let us sit in the car for a while and just kind of play around with it, get a feel for it. And my dad was so nervous about the screen because having to operate an entire car just on this big flat screen that's in the middle of the car was pretty nerve-wracking for my dad, That was his biggest concern. He turned to me, he's like, you're driving this thing home. Like, he was not confident at all about driving this car. We were just sitting there and I love that there's so many little features that you just it makes it exciting. With a normal car, if you buy a normal car, there's not as many fun little things to learn. It's not like a growing organism that you can figure out. But with a Tesla, it feels like it's updating all the time. One little thing that I loved was inside there's this neon light that runs all on the inside and you can change the color to anything you want. It seems like a small little thing, but I don't know. I thought it was cool. Like, hey, Dad, what color do you want the light to be today? And he goes, I want blue or red or whatever it was. And the main thing we wanted to focus on was the full self-driving. The main reason why he bought this car is, his eyesight isn't the best. He's a little bit blind in one of his eyes. So driving at night is challenging. And even more so when it's, pouring rain and dark, it's tough for anybody, not to mention, someone whose eyesight isn't perfect. So full self-driving was the main reason why he wanted this car. So that's what we were kind of going for right at the beginning, right? And then someone walked us back to the car and they say, hey, look, for liability reasons, I have to drive you out of here. And we're like, please do, because if we take the wrong turn and smash one of these brand new Model Ys, it's not going to be a good look. So they drove us out of the little factory there. They sat us in the parking lot and kind of gave us a quick training on, the main things to look out for. And then there it was, handed over to us. So then the first question we asked was, can we put this thing into full self-driving right away? And the gentleman that, brought the car out for us said, the full self-driving's not calibrated yet. The cameras on the outside, they're not calibrated yet. So the full self-driving won't work right now, but if you guys drive it around the neighborhood a little bit, you'll see there was a little blue circle around the steering wheel and it was about halfway full. And he said, as soon as it gets to full, the full self-driving will be enabled and you'll be able to use it. So that was actually perfect because it kind of forced us, or my dad at least, to take the thing for a spin on his own, like actually physically drive it. And we were just giggling. Like, when you're in such disbelief that something's so amazing that you just kind of start laughing. Like, you can't believe the technology. So he's getting used to it. He's driving around and then he hits the pedal and both of our heads just snap back. Like, this thing just has so much acceleration. You can put it into different modes. We had it in standard mode. I tried to get him to put it into chill mode, but he wanted to go fast. So we were having so much fun just playing around with it. And we were watching that blue circle. We were waiting for it to get to the complete for the steering wheel for us to use the FSD. We're about a kilometer away from the dealership and we see the steering wheel was complete. So the full self-driving popped up and said, click on the steering wheel and enable full self-driving. So right away, we're like, all right, let's go. And the thing is we were not in the best position to start full self-driving. We basically gave it an impossible task, like right out of the gate. So the dealership was over here, which meant we had to take a right, and it was the next right, but we weren't in the right lane. We were in the far lane. And the right turn was close enough that it said so we put it in so how full self-driving works is you put the address in that you want to go in the navigation and the Tesla will show, it's just like GPS. It'll show where it's going to go and the full self-driving will just take over, right? And the steering wheel starts moving, the car starts going and stopping and just literally like somebody's driving the car, but you're just sitting in the driver's seat. It's unbelievable. And we see that it's going to take this right turn. And I looked at my dad and I was like, ooh, this is going to be risky. So what happened was the car went doo-ding, like goes into full self-driving mode. And we see that it wants to start turning to the right. The light goes green and it starts to go over to the right. And it's like just about to thinking it's going to do like a 2-lane change. And I'm kind of like, and then it realizes that it's too close to make that turn. So then it just self-corrects. Like it started to go over the line, it self-corrected and went back and then it rerouted to the next right turn. For a minute there, I was like, is this thing going to go? Like this is I've been telling my dad how amazing full self-driving is in the first 10 seconds we're going to get into a car accident. But no, it corrected and it kept going and we were all good. And so we get back to the dealership and I look at my dad, I hop in his old car and we're about to go back and I'm like, you good to go? Like we put his home address in. I was nervous for him. I was nervous because he didn't seem that confident going into it. And so we put his address in and, ding, ready to go. The car starts driving away and I race back to his old car, hop in, and I kind of want to catch up to him and at least just be near him, monitor him. I'm a little worried. It's my dad, right? I'm a little worried for him. So I'm able to kind of catch up to him in about 5 minutes and I roll up beside him on the road and I look over and he's on the phone, leaning back, like fully trusting this thing, like Jesus take the wheel. Like he is almost like he had no concerns ever in the first place. Like it's amazing how fast you kind of give in and trust this amazing machine because it gives you the trust. He didn't even notice me. That's how in his own world he was. So we're driving along and it was a pretty far drive. So about half an hour later, we're on the highway and he rips by me and he's waving at me with 2 hands like, hey, and the car is just driving along. So we get back to his place and I was really interested about hearing how his experience was. And he's just in disbelief. Like he kept using the word remarkable. It's really a special car. And if you'd like to book a one-on-one consulting call with me to discuss the best strategy for your business, feel free to book a time in the calendar below. Thanks so much for checking in and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.